Hey everybody, welcome back to Sportsman 101. Today I'm going to tell the story of the day that a pack of wolves and I were hunting the same deer, and as a result, neither of us got what we wanted. So let me set the stage for you. I was bow hunting several years ago, and there was a particular group of deer that liked to come out on the south end of a hayfield. Now there's a large trail that comes out, and my grandfather told me that a family friend had actually put a stand there and that I should sit there. And so I said, why not? This particular family friend was not up that weekend to hunt, so I borrowed his stand. Oh, by the way, if you're watching this, thank you for letting me use your stand. So sitting in the stand, and it was starting to get pretty close to dark, and I hear this galloping noise off to the east of me. And a group of about 5 or 6 deer came hurtling out of this logging trail to the east of me and stopped way out in the middle of the field, well out of bow shot, and they were stomping their feet and blowing, clearly agitated about something. Now my first thought, of course, was that I had spooked them somehow, but it didn't take long for me to realize that wasn't the case, because a wolf came trotting down this road as if it was all his business, like he owned the place. I thought, oh, well, I guess that explains it. Now this wolf got surprisingly close before he realized I was there, and I could tell the instant he knew I was there, because he suddenly stopped in his tracks and looked straight at me. And then he trotted back into the woods. You don't see that every day. Now the leaves had just fallen, so I could hear him trotting back into the woods, and he stopped, and I could hear him trotting back and forth, and then there was more trotting back and forth. Like there was more than one wolf back there. And I guess that makes sense, because wolves don't really chase big game all alone. If they're alone, I guess they would usually go after something smaller. Now by this time it was starting to get pretty dark, almost time for me to get down from the stand, but you could still hear this trotting back and forth behind my stand, about, I would guess, 30 yards. I couldn't see anything back there, of course. But what really bothered me was that those wolves knew I was there and weren't leaving. They really wanted those deer, and I really didn't want to get down and get between a wild predator and its prey. Forgive me, especially if there's more than one. Now when all that noise behind me had subsided a bit, I decided I need to get down and just go to my car. Now my car was parked further up the road on a different logging trail. Of course, I didn't have a flashlight. So I got down and made sure I made a lot of noise going to my car so I wouldn't surprise anything. I was kicking rocks and talking to myself. Let me tell you guys, that was one of the longest walks of my life. But I finally get to my car, I get it unlocked, get the bow in the back seat, I get in, I start the car, and headlights come on, and there's a wolf standing 20 yards ahead of the car. And I almost filled my pants. That was a little unnerving. Wyatt had stood there and watched me put my bow away and get in the car and unlock the car. I don't know. Maybe he was curious. It wasn't until the headlights came on that he was frightened off. And I didn't have enough time to tell if he was the same wolf I had seen earlier. He could have been, he might not have been. I'll never know. Now, I've had a lot of time to think about this incident, and I've come up with a somewhat reasonable explanation for what happened. The group of deer that typically came out on the trail that I was hunting that evening happened to be chased by wolves. So they took, instead of their normal feeding path, they took the path of least resistance out to the field. And I think they went to the field because they considered it somewhat of a safe zone. You see, about 400 yards from where I was sitting, there is a farmhouse. And I think it was really funny how the wolf that was right behind them had stopped at the road. He didn't cross the road. He didn't want to be out in the open inside of that house. And I think the deer knew it too. So wolves are very smart, and they came up with a different plan. The wolves knew that there are three main exits for the deer on that field. One is up to the west, one is where I was sitting, and the other one is to the east. And those are the three main places that the deer like to enter and exit that particular field. So what I think that they did is that they split up. Each of them went to a different exit, so they could either ambush or continue the chase once the deer felt comfortable enough to leave the field. Now that exit to the west just happened to be on the logging trail where I parked my car. And that would be why that particular wolf was standing there. He was just waiting for a deer to come by. And he happened to see me first. Now I could be completely wrong about this. It could have happened where it could be one wolf that was chasing the deer. He could have detected me, went back into the woods, but then I guess I still don't know why he would have gone to where my car was. I'm going to stick with the theory that the wolves were waiting for the deer to leave the field before continuing the chase. But yes, that is my story of when the wolves and I got in each other's way. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Thank you for subscribing. Leave a like if you like this story. I have a lot more stories like this, guys. So continue watching, and I'll see you next time.